Hey guys, it's Ron Longhorn here, and today we are back with episode 9 of Satisfactory. A couple things I'd like to cover really quickly before we get started, and also by doing this it'll give time to produce more rotors. First of all, last episode was the first episode that I actually had a proper thumbnail. I didn't mention it in the episode because it was kind of an afterthought, but I will try to have proper thumbnails from now on, and it should be better for you guys because it'll help show the episode number and stuff, so it'll be easier to find. But if you can recall, in the last episode we were waiting on rotors. We have 5, so we have 39 of 50, so we're waiting on 11 more. I think to start, I'll see how much concrete we have. Might do another building time lapse because it's quite relaxing. I think it looks pretty cool. I don't think we have enough concrete to really do a whole lot, so I'll probably not do that. I think we're good also on biomass and biofuel. I think that'll not be a problem either, so I don't really know. But we are almost out of biomass, so I'll shut this machine off when it's finished. Okay, and that's our last piece of biomass right there, so once it all gets produced, there we go, I'm now going to shut the machine off. And this is the total amount of solid biofuel we have. Not bad, actually. Right now we're using 600 per fill with 100 each, so that's essentially three stacks. So that'll get at least 3 fills with our current setup. I'd also though like to get to coal power as soon as we can. We have only 3 more rotors, but I was thinking we're very, very close. But since I happen to have 9 in my inventory, I think I'll just put 8 of those in there just to get it over with.
Milestone reached. Several buildings aimed at factory traversal can now be accessed in the build menu. Caution is recommended during use of these products.
And there he glitches through the platform again. Also, I know that the music volume was quite loud in the last episode, so I've tried to change that, but I can hardly hear it now. So hopefully it is better this episode, because it was a little bit bad. Also, that lag and stuff that I had when I was turning, I don't know what caused that. I still don't. If I had to guess, it's just the screen capture software not being able to catch up. But anyway, now we have jump pads, and jump pads are fun, as it gets dark, of course. They are in transportation. We have jump pad, tilted jump pads, and U-jelly landing pads. So if I hook the jump pad up to power, I can step on it and I get launched almost as high as the thing. I get launched quite high, and this is gonna hurt. This one's more for vertical lift. The U-jelly landing pad actually, you can see it generates a speed dampening jelly and guarantees a soft landing, meaning you won't take damage, but it also takes 200 biomass. I would have to go gather some of that real quick, because if you recall, I put all of the biomass we did have into this machine to make biofuel. I'm just gonna go clear more of the forest real quick then, and I will get back with you guys. This is what I was trying to avoid. Whew. It scared the crap out of me. They're pretty quiet too. You always gotta stay cautious in this forest, because those things like to lurk about, and I really don't want to fight with them if I don't have to. They did drop some good loot though. I mean, these alien organs, if you recall, are also dropped by the fire spitting dudes, but I would rather fight one of those guys than a fire spitting dude, because the spiders just took 2 hits and were down. No ranged weapon. Okay, well, I think that's just about all the cutting down of trees I'm gonna do. Just went along the line there and slowly shaved it back even more. So I got a couple stacks of wood, a couple stacks of leaves, and that creature's guts. Can move on to tier 3, which is coal power and vehicular transport, and then basic steel production, which will probably do last of tier 3, because that means we'll have to get into factories and stuff. We have the reinforced iron plate for this. We don't have the rotors, but we do have the cables. So, I mean, the one thing we are short on at the moment is rotors. I'm gonna go ahead and throw in the 150 reinforced iron plate to coal power. Okay, and I'm also gonna get 300 cable. I also can't wait till we unlock the spiked rebar gun, which we might be able to now. It only takes 25 rotors, a bunch of screws, but that's not that big of a deal. And then we can get the rebar gun, and then that takes more rotors and rods. And the rods aren't that big of a deal. The biggest is going to be the rotors. But what we can also do is research this, and then we could also, I guess, research biomass for that as well if we come across another one. But I'm going to throw that in there. And really quickly, I'm going to go craft all of this into biomass. Okay guys, I am done. We have that much biomass, which makes almost 1,000 solid biofuel, except for the fact that we are going to have to borrow 200 of it to make the jelly pad. But I can once again turn this on, still running that biomass in there, because that constructor there doesn't take up a whole lot of power. I kind of want to make like a short, not roller coaster, but like a bouncy area. But first I'm going to show you guys the jelly landing pad. See, with power it kind of makes this green gel, you can swim in it. Everything turns green, and you move slower, but it does definitely cushion your fall. Here I have the jump pad from earlier. So if I hook this up to the power, just on its own, I would have taken a lot of damage, as you saw earlier in the episode. I get launched quite high, and this is gonna hurt. If I jump on this, then I can actually land in the jelly, and no damage is taken. I think I might make it like a little roller coaster real quick with the tilted ones, because the tilted ones actually knock you sideways. This is probably not the best idea here. Yeah, because you also get launched way up. Didn't take as much damage there. They don't launch you as high, but they launch you more far directionally. So I might just set up like a little bounce in a square type deal. About right there. I'm just completely guessing on this. If I jump here now, ooh, kinda caught that one. And fell short there. So, I think I'm actually gonna give up on the idea, because I've taken a lot of damage, and I don't really want to fool around with this stuff right now. In the game, it is a literal pain, so it's just not worth it to me. You can see that once you get below 3 hearts, you automatically regain it all. But I don't like being below 3 hearts because it's hard to fight anything. You take a little bit of damage and you're dead, basically. So, I'm going to heal back up real quick. Okay guys, now that I am back up to full health, I would like to mention why jump pads might be useful, because I don't know if I actually covered it in the episode. Jump pads would be useful for getting up onto this base. So, for example, over here, we could have a jump pad that either jumps straight up, like right over there, have a jump pad that either jumps up or launches you up at an angle, but for that we'd probably want to go further back that way. So it launches you onto the base, and it's just a quicker way to get up than, like, I currently have to run around one of these sides of the hill over here and climb up that way. So these jump pads will hopefully help us with that. I have 22 rotors now, and I was just rudely interrupted by our power situation. I think we ran out of fuel again, so I'll go do that real quick. Okay guys, power is now back on. There we go. And I think I just collected 22 rotors, so I think I'm gonna come over here and start to research the rebar gun, because that'll definitely help in combat. So I'm gonna go gather the resources needed for this, and I'll be back with you guys. Okay guys, I now have the resources to get the rebar gun, so I'm gonna start research on that. But as I was crafting up those resources, I was also thinking, I thought, well, we're this close to coal power, which would be really awesome to get in this episode. So I think I'm just going to sit here and craft up some screws, and then craft up some rotors to help our current production along, just to speed the process up a little bit, instead of waiting here to actually craft up some rotors by hand, because we are nowhere near 50. So I'll see what I can do about that. So here is a time lapse of me crafting some rotors. Okay guys, I crafted up 29 rotors to go with our 7 that we already had. So we're up to 36 of 50, and hopefully between what I crafted up and what we have in the box, that should be enough. Okay, we have 8 rotors. You may have noticed, I'm not sure if you could see it in the time lapse or not, I went ahead and put the existing rotors I had in my inventory in this box here. I think I'm going to go ahead and use half of those. And now we have coal power.
Milestone reached. Coal is an improved alternative power source to biomass and can be fully automated if provided water with the new pipeline buildings and power throughout the initial setup. Coal has been added to the resource schedule.
So,
ensure the close proximity of water to the coal production line. Note: pumps will aid in vertical transport of fluids through pipes. Note: throughput and volume indicators are added to each pipe section automatically.
Now what we can do is we can now build a power plant. We now have pipes and pumps. We now have the liquid version of a cargo box. What we can also do, we also have water extractors there. But what we can also do now is we can now scan for coal. And I know that there's not a whole lot nearby. Nearest looks to be 750 meters that way, which is the way I would prefer not to go because it's through the forest. There's also some 961 meters that way, which I knew there was. There's some just over 1,000 meters that way, so I might go check out the coal. It's 1,000 meters that way too, because this coal that was 900 meters this way is kind of on a floating island, and if you fall off it, there's nothing. There's no land beneath you. So that's a thought. I'd like to set up a truck to go and get the coal from wherever and then come and deliver it to the factory here so that we don't have to go run a big long conveyor, because those are fairly resource heavy, and so we also don't have to build a power plant way out over there and then bring it all the way back here, and then if we have a problem with it, with something out there, then we have to go run all the way out there and fix it. I think the smartest option would be to truck it over, but to do that we also have to unlock vehicular transport, and it's also going to take a bunch of rotors, I know. So it's also going to take these modular frames, which are made from reinforced iron plate and rods. We would have to set up like a little constructor or a little assembler, to build these as well. But it's 100 rotors, 200 cable, and 400 iron rods. So we could at least get that started, get the resources going for that. I'm gonna go ahead and throw this biomass in the... Actually, I take that back. I am not gonna throw it in this container. I'm gonna leave 200 biomass in this box right here, so that if we choose to build a U-Jelly landing pad slightly later down the road, that we can. But I'm going to go ahead and grab the rods real quick, and the 200 cable. We are almost full of cable, by the way. We still have a ways to go with wire. The modular frames are not going to be so easy. I'll have to set up an assembler, as I said earlier. I'll probably just do it where I did the one for the hub parts. And also, I'm not sure if you can hear the, like a constant tapping. It's starting to rain outside, so... Okay, to make modular frames, we're going to need a bunch of reinforced iron plate. So we'll need 75 reinforced iron plate and 12 times 25 rods, which is 300 rods. And since rods only stack in stacks of 100, that means we'll have to throw a cargo box out and put a couple rods in it. There's the 75 reinforced iron plate, and then I'll get the 300 rods. Also, the pod is almost returned, so that means that here soon we can throw in the parts for vehicular transport. Okay, I have the rods feeding in here. The pod has just landed, so that means we can go ahead and throw in the resources we have. As far as rotors, we're gonna have to probably just leave this be for an episode and get a bunch, because right now we have 14, which is not that many. Also, it looks like we're running out of screws in the assembler, which is actually slowing down our rod production. It's not because this thing doesn't have enough iron rods. Now, why? This says it outputs 40 parts per minute. How many parts per minute does it need? Oh, it needs 100 per minute. I'll see if I can speed that up a bit and just throw an extra constructor down here. I'll just hook it up through this instead. Okay. I've kind of thrown that in there now, so hopefully our screw production will at least be, our rotor production will at least be a little bit faster, because it is currently not outputting them very fast. See here, like the rotor that is just produced gets to make it down to the box, or at least did before the next rotor even was made. Another one's already been produced, right there before the other one hit the box down. So that's at least a little bit of time shaved off right there. It also appears that this mess that I set up here for making plates, the box on the top looks like it ran out. So that means I can destroy all this mess I have for plates and hook it in sensibly. If you remember, I planned it to where we just take that conveyor belt, just put it right down in there. It appears that our power has shut down again this time because we overloaded the network, which I think I'll turn that off anyway because we have plenty of plates and we haven't been needing them. So hopefully we'll be able to run now. And we have 8 modular frames crafted. Anyway guys, I think that's going to wrap it up for today's episode. I do hope that you enjoyed. We got a lot done. Got some upgrades done and especially the coal power, and we're on our way to getting another one done as well. Again, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and have a good day. Bye. And as always guys, I'm going to save here.